Hello, Sister Ruba. You can unmute your camera and start the meeting, please.
Is that fine, brother?
Yes, it's sounding, it's clear and loud.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sister Ruba, and I am a student of Brahma Kumaris. I've been a student for the past 17 years. Together with being a student, because that's what we are, we're eternal students. Together with being a student, I'm also a teacher of Raja Yoga meditation. And currently, thank you. And currently, I reside at the meditation center in Amanzimtoti. I am a scientist by training, and my job, my work entails me being in a very corporate environment, practicing being a scientist. It's a very interesting life because I've got to balance spirituality with science. And one would think that they could not mix well together. But today I'll share with you how science and the knowledge that God gives us have such good symmetry and alignment. Today I'm going to be sharing with you glimpses of God. When I thought about the topic, my initial idea was, if I start sharing about glimpses of God, it's like opening the last page of a book and reading the last page. So before I do share about God, please allow me to share from the beginning of the story. And the story really starts when I and all of you, tiny, beautiful, sparkling points of light. If you want to really picture what you look like, have a look at the night sky and see the twinkling star. That is what you, I, the soul, really looks like. Now picture for a moment, there's all of us, these sparkling points of light in our original home, this golden red hued land that we know that God has told us is called Paramdham. And picture for a moment this wonderful, beautiful being who we now know as God, our companion in the soul world, Shiva. I am Atma, soul. You are Atma, soul. And this is Param Atma, supreme soul, God. So there we were, all of us, really enjoying our land of peace. When we look out and we see this beautiful blue planet, and we think, and we share, wouldn't it be nice to go there and experience what they experience? And the Supreme Soul says, okay, you can do that. But actually, to do that, I need to make you a spacesuit. Because this sparkling point of light, the being that you are, cannot live on the planet, on that beautiful blue planet, without a costume. And so he designs this thing that we know today as the body. And he says, well, you can go and play, but you'll need this body. But before you go, there's a few rules that you need to know. So you go into this blue planet, it's the playground, but the playground has got rules. Okay, but we're very eager because we want to go. So we ask, so what are the rules? And so he says, well, number one, once you enter the playground, you can only leave when the playground closes. You can't go there and decide, well, I want to come back now. You can only leave when the playground closes. The second thing, this spacesuit that I am making for you will only last for a certain period of time. There will come a time when it will die. And then you must now enter another spacesuit. We know that as dying and being born. The third thing he shares, as time progresses, you will forget who you truly are. You will no longer remember that you are the sparkling point of light sitting in a spacesuit. You will start to believe that you are the spacesuit. We refer to that as being body conscious. I identify with my body and not with my true nature. But he already told us that this is what will happen. So don't get afraid. This is what will happen. So I will forget everything. The next thing he says, everything. The nature of the spacesuit, you, the soul, that beautiful blue planet will go from 100% perfection to 100% imperfection. It's guaranteed. Now, you know, in science, we know this as entropy. It's a law. It's Newton's second law of thermodynamics. That everything, if I took an orange and I left the orange on the table, I didn't do anything to the orange. I just left it. You'll agree with me that in a week's time, that orange will move from being a beautiful orange fruit to being rotten. 100% perfection to 100% imperfection. It's the law of this planet. Then he also told us, every action that you perform whilst on the planet, on that playground, will have an equal and opposite reaction. This is one more of Newton's law. In spirituality, we call it the law of karma. In the Bible, there's a reference to as you sow, so shall you reap. But God already told us that. And the final thing that he said was that when the world you live in, when that beautiful blue planet turns to total degradation, when you have completely forgotten who you are, when you start to believe that money and the possessions that you have, the titles that you have, identify who you are, and that there's only value in that, at that point, I, who never comes to play on the playground, I, who only stayed in the soul world, will be the one, the blueprint, and I will be the one who will come and remind you of who you are. That was his promise. All of us in the world, the Hindus celebrate a festival called Shivratri. And that is a speak of a celebration or a remembrance of the promise that God has made us. And you know, even our worship has become degraded. Because how many of us actually believe? We celebrate it, but how many of us actually believe that God has come? How many of us actually listen to what God has to say? We may speak the words, but how many of us practice it? On that note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, each one of you, to close your eyes. And I'm going to share with you a song that God is singing to us. When we worship, usually we sing God all his praises. It's very rarely that we actually hear God and him singing our praise. And so I invite you for the next few minutes, close your eyes and listen to God's words. Allow yourself to surrender to his deep love for you. So close your eyes, relax, settle down, put your pens and papers down, and allow yourself to be totally relaxed. I will come to you when you are in the silence. Once again, I will write upon your heart, and I'll meet you deep inside your inner castle, where together we can take the fears apart. And you've no idea just how much I have missed you. I've been waiting many lifetimes for your call. And I will sing my song of love, my song of love, my song of love. And I will sing my song of love. I will come to you when emptiness surrounds you. Once again, I will fill you with my love, and I'll meet you deep inside your inner castle. I will hold you through the darkest night, and you've no idea just how much I adore you. For if you did, you'd never feel alone. So I will sing my song of love, my song of love, my song of love. And I will sing my song of love. Meet me in the silence. Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister.
You're welcome. So that's what God promised us. And so he said, I'll come to you in the darkest of times. But what do we expect from God when he comes? Because we celebrate his coming. And he said, I'll come to you in the darkest of times. Well, he's come. But we haven't gone home as yet. How come? And I realize that there's a few tricks to this. So God has come in the darkest of times to remove us from the darkness of ignorance, because I've totally forgotten. So I'm ignorant of my true nature. To move us from the total ignorance to the day of enlightenment. But you know, knowledge has great power. But it has no use if it's not used. So it's like, for example, brother, can we mute Mir Rampal, please? Thank you. No, again, there's a bit of interference. Thank you. So God has come. Oh yeah, that's where I was. So knowledge has only got value if I put it into practice. So I could be the best student in the world, and it's great. I will be extremely knowledgeable, but I could be as good as an encyclopedia sitting on a shelf in a library. So God comes and God shares with us our true nature. He shares with us our true form. He shares with us his true form. He shares with us his true name. He shares with us our original home. And that's wonderful knowledge. And we need to have that knowledge. But its absolute value only emerges when I can bring it into practice. And that's the trick. So let's start first, though, with what God has to share with us. So who am I? This world says that, you know, I am defined by my job. I am defined by my title. I am defined by what I own. You know, and we have begun to believe that. And we get into this rat race. The last time I looked, I'm not a rat. But yeah, you know, the world says, get into the race. Otherwise, if you're too peaceful when everybody else is flapping around, there's something wrong with you. A very big thing in the corporate world is dog eats dog. And I was just thinking about that, you know, dog eats dog. I don't know about your dogs, but my little puppy does not eat dog. He eats carrots and green beans. So there must be something wrong. Okay. Those are just titles of the body. God has come to tell me about the soul. And he wants me to become more soul conscious, bring that to the fore, and less body conscious. Because the whole transition from that golden age of first coming to this playground to this iron age of this playground meant that I would forget. And I would think that I'm the body. So he's come, he's fulfilling his promise. He's come and he's telling me, listen, my divine child, you're not the body. You're soul. You're a sparkling, powerful, pure point of light. And you are seated in that. And you are seated in that body, that spacesuit that I first sent you in. And you are seated right here, between your eyebrows and the top of your head. Dig in, dig down, somewhere in the middle there. That's where I, the soul, exist. My inner castle, as in his song. That's my castle. I, the soul, am the king. And so I have a castle. And I sit there on my throne within this castle, and I allow this body to do what it wants, what we need to do. I control the spacesuit. So he's told me who I am. I am soul. Then he has told me, these are your qualities, your original qualities. Coming down and playing in this playground, I got dirty. I was playing in the mud of the playground. I got dirty. And I thought the dirt was part of me. But that's fine. He's come now and he's telling me, actually, my child, you are a being of peace. You are a being of love. You're a powerful being. You're a pure being. And you are truth. And truth does not need to be defended. You are truth. You are happiness. If I had to see you now and ask you the question, how many of you are truly happy? Or do you find yourself fluctuating during the course of the day? How many of you are peaceful? Or do you find yourself being peaceful only when you meditate or when you pray? How many of you have true love for each other, seeing beyond the faults? I think all of us are work in progress. And there's a line. Each one of us is making effort. And that's why God has come and we have still not returned, because we are making effort. Haven't gotten there yet. And you know, when you study something, you have to write a test. I don't know about you, but when I first came to Brahma Kumaris and I learned this very deep spiritual knowledge, and I started to practice it, gosh, the obstacles, the challenges, the tests. And I thought to myself, what am I doing wrong? You know, I'm practicing this stuff now. Before I wasn't, and now I am, and all of these things are coming. But you know, if a room is dark, you don't get to see the cracks. You'll only see it when the light is put on. It doesn't mean those things weren't there. They were always there. It's just because you're now becoming enlightened, introducing that light, that you get to see them. And those are the tests and the challenges. And what do they tell you? They tell you about your progress. How what you are learning, how what you are practicing is beneficial, or whether it's enough. Maybe you need to do more. But it's a very gentle thing. There's nothing harsh about it. There's no criticism about where I am. There's no criticism about at what point in this journey I am. Because guess what? It's not a race. It's not like, hey, Ruba, she'll finish first and she can go. No. We came to play here together. And guess what? When the playground closes, we'll have to all leave together. When I was thinking about this, about God coming and introducing myself to me, and then introducing himself, what do you think God looks like? Now keep in mind that he's my father. Keep in mind that we all come from that original land of souls. If I look like a sparkling star, what do you think God looks like? Absolutely. He's a sparkling star. And we know him as Shiva. And Shiva means the benevolent one. Why is he the benevolent one? Because he promised that he will come and he'll remind us. And he kept his promise. So this is Shiva. What else did he come and tell us? He told us our address. This is your original home, Paramdam, that land of golden red light. That's your home. Now, when I was reflecting on it, it reminded me of something that happened when I was maybe about 5 years old. For those of you who are from Durban, or know Durban, you'd know that like in Easter, I think it was Good Friday, everybody would go to the Isipingo temple. And, you know, if you know that temple and you know that gathering, Isipingo temple had thousands of people coming on that one day to do their prayer. And my family was no different. Good Friday, all of us get into the car, 6 children, mother, father, and we would go to the Isipingo temple. And then one day, on one occasion, me being who I am, might have been about 5 years old, I decided to go wandering off. Needless to say, amongst the thousands of people, I got lost. And I remember I saw an announcement table. And I remember walking up to the gentleman who was making announcements. And I remember saying to him, "Sir, I'm lost. My name is Ruba Abu. My father's name is Victor Abu. My mother's name is Lakshmi Abu. I live in Duff's Road. Can you please make that announcement so that my father can find me?" And guess what? They found me. And now when I think of what God Shiva is doing, he's telling me who I am, my original nature. He's telling me his name. And he's telling me my address. All the information I need to go home. At this point, what I have is the knowledge. So the question then is, how do I bring it into practice? How do I fully explore what God is telling me? And if you think about a student, you could sit at your desk and you can study. And there are other students who need to physically do something, and then they learn it. It's experiential. So how can I make this knowledge experiential? So if I think about the song that God was singing to each one of us, if I think about the song that God was singing to each one of us, he said that I will come to you in the silence. Now let's think about the silence. And God's going to come to me in silence. How am I going to recognize him? And my reflection of the silence is the noise. Let's listen to non-silence, right? Ha! That's noise. Now let's put a few gaps within the noise. Gaps equals to silence. Ha, 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 ha. In between that noise, I introduced a few gaps. What happens? It increases harmony. It increases musicality. And yet it's just silent gaps. So within the noise of this iron age, am I able, while still living in this noise, am I able to introduce gaps, little moments of silence to bring harmony into my life? And I can make them active silence. I can spend that moment. I'm a soul and experiencing myself as a star, a sparkling star. Or I could have an interaction with God. Hello, God. How are you? so nice to meet you. Or I could do whatever. I could decide that I'm going to send peace out into the world. Whatever I do in those moments of silence will bring harmony into my life. But that gap that I choose has to be focused, has to be my choice of the kind of thoughts I want to have whilst I'm in the gap. Am I going to be caught up in the drama of the world? Or am I going to remember what God told me? My true nature, my true form, His true nature, and my address. The choice is mine. And if I think about it as well, silence and vibration, there's a vibration to silence. You know, you might have heard these things called bob whistles. We can't hear it. You blow into that, we can't, but a dog can, because it is at a different vibrational frequency. And so when I go into the state of silence, and we'll practice that just now, when I go into the state of silence, this vibrational state, I increase my vibrational energy. And when I increase my vibrational energy, I almost align it to the vibrational energy of God. Now think about your radio. If you wanted to listen to East Coast radio or Lotus, you'd have to tune in to the correct vibration. So East Coast 94, 95. Lotus, I think, is 87. Yeah. I would have to tune in to the correct frequency in order to hear what's being broadcast. Now, if I want to talk, or if I want to have a relationship with God, or I want to hear what He says, I need to tune in. So when I go into the silence and I remember who I am, I increase my vibrational energy from body consciousness, which is a very heavy energy. I increase it, the frequency, to that of soul consciousness. And when I reach that frequency, I become aligned to God's frequency. And guess what? He's broadcasting. I'm able to tune in. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to be hearing voices in your mind. It doesn't mean that. What it means is that you'll be touched to do certain things. You'll be touched. You'll think it's your own mind coming up with these things, but it's like little triggers. And you'll have a feeling, hey, you know what? Maybe I should do this. Or maybe I need to call somebody. And you'll get these big surprises. Yeah? So that is the kind of silence that God is speaking about. The second way in which I can bring into practice God's teachings is if I watch my thoughts. What do I mean by that? Well, to be an observer of the self. What is the quality of my thoughts? What are my thoughts, firstly? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they depressing? Are they optimistic? Are they happy thoughts? Are they sad thoughts? I'm not a victim. I have control over the kind of thoughts I want to have. And I decide. So long the world has been telling me, no, actually you got no control. The environment is controlling you, but that's just not true. Why is it not true? Because God said it's not true. And when you practice this, you'll actually realize, oh, it is true. I can control my thoughts. I control my environment. So watch the quality of my thoughts. The other day, a friend of ours sent a group message saying something about Einstein, and Einstein said, it's not the people who do the wrong things. I'm paraphrasing here, by the way. It's not the people who do the wrong things that are bad. It's actually those who stand by and watch, and do nothing. And so her comment was that from a spiritual perspective, what are your thoughts? Well, my thoughts are very clear. I could either focus on the negativity of a situation, or I could send good wishes to a negative situation. So let's take this recent thing with the Ukraine. I could sit here and feel quite helpless and watch CNN and see what's happening and feel helpless that I cannot offer anything to these mothers who are running and escaping with their little babies. I could feel that. But guess what? I have power. God said I'm a powerful being. Does that mean that I must rush out and take arms and go and shoot people? No. My power is that I can send out powerful thoughts, vibrations of peace and love, brotherly love, soul brotherly love into the world, so that the people who make decisions make good decisions. And if each one of us does that, we can actually change, transform this world. And that's where our power lies. It doesn't lie in the guns and in money and all of those things. Our power lies in the fact that when my thoughts are positive and powerful, I can transform the world. And I cannot do anything if I cannot believe it. So my thoughts are very important. At this point, I want to give you a piece of homework and try it. Do you think that you're a powerful being? I think I'm a powerful being. I know I'm a powerful being. And that's not with arrogance. It's actually with humility that I acknowledge that I'm a powerful being. And therefore, I also take very great care in the kind of thoughts I have. Because if I'm powerful with my positive thoughts, then by gosh, I'm extremely powerful with my negative thoughts. And so I have to watch myself. I need to make sure that the quality of my thoughts are more positive than negative. So here's an experiment I'd like you to try. It's going to only cost you 3 onions. So if you would get a clear glass, 3 clear glasses, fill them up with water all the way to the top. And then place the onion with the root side touching the water. So it's going to sit on the rim of your glass and it's going to touch the water. You're going to have 3 glasses, 3 onions. And you're going to place them on your windowsill. Okay? And to the left-hand side, 1, every morning, you're going to say, you are so beautiful. You are so pure. You are so, everything will grow in you. The middle one, you're going to ignore. And the right-hand side one, you're going to say, you are ugly. Nothing will survive in you. You are useless. Everything that you can think about that's negative, you'll say to the right-hand side. Remember, the left-hand side, you're only going to say positive, very reinforcing things. To the right-hand side, you're going to say only negative things. I'm not going to tell you what the outcome is. I would invite you to contact the Brahma Kumaris and let them know what you discover in this experiment. I can tell you this much. You do this diligently for 4 days in the morning. You will see very interesting results. And you will realize just how powerful you are. Because remember, your thoughts become your words. So in order to say all those things to this water and plant, you have to have the thought first and then express it in words. That's what you will do. That's how powerful we are. But you tell me, I've done the experiment. In fact, we sent this out globally. We sent a WhatsApp group, and then the next group sent it to another group. We've got responses from the UK, from Canada, from America, many, many people. And they were amazed at what they saw, what they observed. And they were shocked, really, at their power. And it also made them realize that they could have the power for good or the power for bad. But I'm God's child, so I will use that power only for good. So that's the next practice, is to observe my thoughts and to have only the thoughts that I want to have, not be governed by the situation. And the third aspect, which I believe is one of the most important aspects really, is to develop a relationship with God. Because, you know, when we were worshiping in the traditional way, God was beyond me. You know, there was God and there was I. Small me, big God. And yet God is telling me, I am your Father. And in traditional worship, you know, we would have an interface between myself and God. Why? Because I'm not worthy enough to come in front of him. Or that's what I thought. But he's my Father. Do I need a secretary to speak to my Father? No, I have his private number. And so I need to practice having that relationship with him again. But he doesn't have to be my Father, because God is so cute. He says to us, and we remember this actually in our devotion, we remember it. You know, there's this thing about Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. Mother, Father, Teacher, God. So those are the roles that God plays with us. He's the mother, he's the father, he's the teacher, and he's God. But you know what? He can be any role that you want him to be. He can be a friend, because something I can tell my friend, I can't tell my mother. Something I can, you know, sometimes I want a beloved, you know. God's my beloved. He can play any role that I need, that I want. And he can change. Today he's my father. Tomorrow he's my mother, because guess what? I need the lap of a mother to cry in. My father will just tell me, no, we must go and do this and do that. My mother will say, come put your head here, and I'll comfort you. The next day I might need the advice of a father. And I'll go to him and say, look, Baba. By the way, Baba means father. Baba, this is what's happening. I need your advice. What should I do? Have that conversation with him. Make him your companion. You know, they say you're colored by the company you keep. So can you imagine keeping him with you all the time during the course of the day? You're never alone. Imagine in a meeting, everybody else is talking about work and whatever, and you just having this quiet moment. Hello, Baba. I see you holding my hand. Haha. That's me. I have a 2-hour drive to work. And people in other cars may be seeing me talking, right? They may be watching me. My mouth is moving, and they may be thinking I'm talking on the telephone, hands-free. But no, I'm not on the telephone. I'm having a conversation with my companion as I drive to work. And it's such a beautiful conversation. And sometimes I tell him as well, look, you promised you'd take care of me, but it's not happening. So tell me now, what must I do? You know, it's not about worship. It's about respect and regard. It's about a relationship. Sometimes I walk on the beach and my hand is outstretched. Might look a bit odd, but that's okay. Because guess what? It's outstretched because I'm holding my beloved's hand. And I'm walking on the beach with my beloved. I really have a lot of fun with that. It means I have God as my companion. When I'm going to bed, guess who's lying next to me? I'm not alone. God is lying there. Not in any physical form, but because I move my vibration to his vibration. And so he's invisible. He's my invisible companion. You know, when we were kids, we had invisible friends. You know, and everybody thought, oh no, something's wrong with that child. She says she's got a friend. You know, nobody can see the friend. Well, I'm an adult and I have an invisible friend. I have an invisible beloved. I have an invisible father, mother, teacher. But I can feel him and I can experience him. Do I need to see him with these eyes? No, the eyes belong to the body. I experience him as so. And so I hope that I've given you a small glimpse, my God and your God, of our Param Atma, the Supreme Father. And I don't know whether we have time for questions, but before we close the session, I'd like to take you into silence through a meditation and have you experience, just as I do, this little taste of spending time with God. So, Brother Mirko, do we have a session for questions?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Depends how long you want to meditate. And
I think we can take a few questions. Meditation, I think about 10 minutes. We'll be within time.
Right, okay.
Okay. So I invite you, anyone who's got questions. Brother, how will they unmute themselves?
They know how, just click on the microphone and they are muted.
Okay, you can unmute yourself. Anybody, any questions? No questions? Did you all enjoy that?
Greetings of peace.
Hello?
It's Maseke. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. I just wish to appreciate how you make the relationship with our Father tensionless. How you say you speak as if you're speaking to a friend as you drive. Because very often the relationship seems to be very heavy, that you can't communicate in a particular way. But I appreciate how you make God so accessible, and that says definitely we are always in His presence. We just need to tap in there. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I want to share with you, God always has his hand out. When I don't feel worthy, I take my hand away and I think I'm alone. But actually, I'm always, you know, he's always trying to hold my hand. Any other questions?
Shanti, thank you very much for a wonderful talk. And my question really is, in the silence, how do you know that it is God and not your imaginings or some kind of deeper yearning that you're not conscious of, that's driven by a subconscious tendency? Thank you.
Thank you. Very, very interesting question. And I think to answer that question, we have to ask ourselves the first question: what is my intention? If I wish to speak to God in that silence, then guess what? I will get to speak to him. We may think it's my imagination. We may think it's some deep subconscious connection. And that's okay. Because guess what? I wanted to meet him. Did I have that meeting? Yes, I did. Do I have to evaluate it in terms of where it came from? Well, I don't. And I can only share what I do. When my intention is to meet with him in that silence, that is my reality. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, it was an acceptance thing. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're most welcome.
Hello, I'm Shanti.
So,
I'm
Shanti.
Shanti. I want to say thank you for a beautiful and fascinating talk experience. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. So, if there are no more questions, can I please invite you to join me in a meditation? I'll do a commentary and take you through a journey into that silent space where we have an opportunity to meet God and just spend some time in his beautiful company. So I invite you to relax, settle down.
Would you like me to share screen or leave it as it is with the music or as it is?
You can leave it as it is, brother. It's fine.
Okay. I can play music, but you won't hear it if I don't share the screen.
Okay, share the screen, but play very soft music.
Okay.
I invite you to sit very relaxed. Allow yourself to sink into your seat. I visualize the ball of light at my feet. And as I watch this ball of light, I see it rising, descending beyond my knees, past my stomach, over my chest, and I see it at my forehead. And as I focus on this ball of light, I feel myself being drawn inwards. Within this body, deep into my castle. I see myself as a sparkling point of light. I am soul. I'm being at peace. I'm a powerful being. I am a pure being. I am a being of happiness. I am a being of love. Seated on my throne, inside my castle, I feel myself being this powerful being. I am that star. As I watch myself, I move beyond this body, beyond this world. I see myself in this land of golden red light. My original home. My home of silence. My home of peace. Feel the presence of another being. I feel his warmth. I feel the love, the unadulterated love emanating from this powerful being of mine. I am in the company of my eternal Father, Param Atma, the Supreme Soul, God Himself. And as He approaches me, I feel as my energy merges with His energy. It's like a warm hug. And I feel safe. I feel comforted. I feel at home. In this land of silence. I stay in the warmth of this connection. I absorb the powerful rays of peace, love, and happiness from my Father. I don't worry about how much I'm taking. There's enough for everyone. I just absorb, staying close to Him. His vibrations, my vibrations, totally aligned. I lounge in this powerful silence in my Father's company. I understand I can spend as much time as I like with Him. The choice is mine. He is always available. Lovingly, in each other's company, take my leave. I have to come back. Feeling enriched, I lovingly say goodbye and feel as I return to my castle, seated on my throne. Om Shanti. So thank you everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening and wonderful experiences with God. Thank you. Good evening.
A tiny flower breaks the stone, her roots connected far below. She drinks the power of the sun, a testament to anyone who's taken on what seems to be immovable, with faith to launch 1,000 stars, to ride a comet straight to Mars, when all oppose refuse to see, and say that it will never be. Collective mind and one belief, impossible. The quiet way unseen by eyes, who seek to shine a neon light. The gentle, strong, insistent flow of one who says they do not know, but understand and show in ways remarkable. I wish to swing out of the sea, to land inside this landscape me, a solitude of still repose, and quiet concert there compose, not for applause and not for need of any
Good night.